Hi, my name is Attorney Walter Rudolph Hnot III. I'm with Disability Resolution PA. Let's go ahead and answer the next question on the list, which is, what kind of successful testimony should you use to win disability benefits, right? Okay, so successful testimony. First, you got to break it up into categories. So categories include things like technology that you're able to use, prior jobs that you've had, the levels of skill that you learned from those jobs. Did you do things like payroll? Did you do things like, hiring, firing, or training other individuals? Then we can go into things like, what you did at those specific jobs. And we can go into things like, what kind of medications are you taking? What side effects do you get? And then we can go into other categories: cooking, cleaning, shopping, hygiene, all these different home-related activities, doing outside activities such as mowing, upkeeping of the yard around the house. We can do all that kind of stuff. And then we can move on to other things like, were you ever in the military? Are you currently part of any groups or clubs, whether for, vocational, whether for recreational or professional purposes? Do you currently have any licenses, permits, or allowances to do anything? What's the purpose that you want to be on disability benefits? Was your most severe impairment when it comes to physical? Was your most severe impairment when it comes to mental? Of those two, which is your most severe? Basic things like that. So how do we get successful testimony pertaining to your actual ALJ hearing? First, realize that before the hearing is really when this starts. And the number one reason why people get denied, and I've been doing this now 15 years through other people, 6 years just my own firm, I've seen a lot. And I can tell you de facto, the number one thing that gets people denied, it's not their testimony at the hearing. It is not their testimony in front of the CE, the Consultative Examinations Medical Expert. It is their testimony, the things that they write down on those initial forms, the 3373, Adult Functioning Report, the anxiety, supplemental pain, supplemental seizure, whatever. It is the things that you guys put down on your 3369, your 3373, your 3368 forms. Those initial forms that you fill out, you don't realize, but those directly equate to federal testimony that will live forever and ever and ever. Okay. So why am I really saying this to you? Why am I trying to make a point of this to you? It's so that you understand when you initially go to file, you want an attorney that actually reviews the paperwork that you're going to be filing. So I have 6 or 7 new filings that I have to work on. It's Sunday, so I have to finish them by Monday to go ahead and send them out. But bottom line is, I have 6 or 7 new initial filings that I have to review that we got from Friday, and I have to make sure I go through each and every one and call the claimant if I see a problem. Now, this is after I've already run through them with the claimant, but I'm going to run through them one more time to make sure very quickly that I don't see anything that pops up as a red blinking, yellow blinking light. We want solid green light. We do not want problematic statements. So I want to premise this whole thing, even though we're a bit into the video at this point, I want to premise the whole thing on one particular idea. That idea is that you have to, with your testimony, show why you can no longer work the jobs you used to work and the job you might be currently working that you're slowly getting away from or quickly getting away from. Let me rephrase that. You got to show how you can't work. You wouldn't be able to do the jobs you did in the past. That is the whole premise of this. Don't give me testimony about your ego. Well, I can do this, 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 and this. I did this, 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 and this, and I could still do it today because I'm amazing. Blah, blah, blah. Don't waste my time. You're not my client. I'd get rid of you if you were. Don't waste my time. Okay? I'm not looking for people who are, I can do anything, right? You do it once, nearly kill yourself, and be an insurance workers' comp claim. I'm not looking for the people who have the ego. I'm looking for the people who have moved past that, right? Those are the early disability people. Those are like the beginning people, right? When they're like, well, I can do this, 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 and this, but I'm disabled. I think I deserve it, but I'm disabled. We'll always watch out for the people that say, I deserve disability benefits, because those are usually not the people who are really, really severely disabled. Okay, the people who are really, really severely disabled, everybody knows that they deserve disability benefits. Now we just have to get all the paperwork in line to get them their benefits. But the ones that are saying about, I deserve disability benefits, and then they'll tell you about how they do all these things for their man, and they take care of him, and yada-da, and I'm disabled, but, I could still do these things, and blah, 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 like having to cook and clean and this and that and yada, 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 all these things that if you can do them beyond a certain point, then you're not disabled. You can do a job in it. If you can mop, If you can vacuum, why couldn't you do a job, motel job, things like that? Oh, I couldn't do it all day. Why not? Well, he comes home and I got to be ready for him. What? You know. So just watch out for those. So let's premise it all on the identity of why you cannot work in the national economy, not just your state, in the national economy. Good. All right, so let's talk about that. What kind of successful testimony should you use to win disability benefits? First, ask a disability attorney that you're going to go ahead and work with what categories, what topics usually are the most problematic for people. Actually, no, I'm just going to tell you, because then you know. Topic number 1, knowing what their actual disabilities are. You guys suck. You are so crappy at this. I don't even understand how it got this. I don't know why, but you suck at it. And I don't know why it is. I know not, and there will be one guy in the comments, oh, you don't obviously respect human beings because you said we all sucked. Our fault, blah, 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 blah. Dude, shut up. I don't need it. I don't need it. You know that I mean the particular class of individuals who have no idea what their disabling conditions are and they're applying for disability. That makes no sense. That's like saying to somebody who's about to go apply for something to go to another country that they don't know what their social security number is. Like, you know, you need to know what your social security number is to go to France, to go to here or there, wherever. Anyways, let's go ahead and go through that. What I mean by that is, what is your most severe physical impairment? What is your most severe mental impairment? Of those two, which is your most severe impairment? Then give me a list, a bullet point list of all the other impairments that limit your ability to do vocational tasks, like job stuff, right? That's the thing all you guys suck at. You're just so bad at it. Now, I know there's a few of you that are just rock stars. Cool. All right, next one. The next thing you guys are really, really bad at, medications. I don't know what it is, but none of you know what you're taking. You know, you got 3 bottles, you got 10 bottles, you got 15 bottles. You don't know what you're taking. You need to know what you're taking, the dosage, how you're taking it, what it's for, and what side effects, right, it causes in you. Hold on, I'm getting a text. Okay. All right. So let's talk about that real quick. Actually, we don't need to. We'll just skip that and go to the next one because I hate these really, really long videos. All right, next one. The next thing you guys are really terrible with, home activity-based testimony. Home activity-based testimony, and then after that we're going to do digital stuff like social stuff. You guys will talk about how you, like, you know, you do everybody's dishes, you take care of other people's kids, you take care of 4 dogs that aren't even your own, you take care of your husband, you take care of your 7 kids, blah, 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 blah. If you can do all these functional tasks, they'll find, you know, you could be a pet caretaker, you can be a human caretaker. They'll find a job for you that's within that realm that you could potentially do. So if you're talking about how you can do all these things, obviously it's going to limit your choices for being found disabled because you're very functional. Okay. Now we're going to talk about social network stuff. Some of you guys get it. Some of you guys don't get it. I had a claimant tell me 2 or 3 days ago that he wasn't going to take down the pictures of him in a go-kart. Or the video of him in the go-kart, which I was like, wow. Back issues, problems, all these things going on. Evidence is really strong, but there he is in a go-kart racing around at it's not Old Town, they call it Fun Spot. Even if you can do it and you do meet the severity requirements for back issues, okay, even if you can do it, right, don't you think that that might send the wrong signal, the appearance that you are not in fact disabled, when you post it to the World Wide Web where it is completely available to any human being on Earth? Don't you think that maybe that's not a good option to have on there? Maybe not, and that's okay. Maybe you're one of those that's like, you know what, if I want to ride a giraffe around the zoo park and have them chase me down and then tackle me to the ground like somebody that's streaking through a football field, then yeah, maybe that's cool for you. And that's fine. I'm cool with that too. I don't care. All right, so let's talk about other things. Then it comes to hobbies. You know, I really love music. I love going to concerts and playing the guitar and doing this and that. But can you still do those things? Oh, no, of course not. Well, then make sure they know that. Because, you know, you guys always put down on your forums like, oh, I love music, I love rock concerts, and I love jazz concerts, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Just make sure that you specify, you detail that you no longer are able to go to those, okay? All right, so when you're in front of the judge, I just want to take a moment, because we just did some categories. When you're in front of the judge, I just want to take a moment to explain that the toughest people, right, the meanest, toughest claimants that I have, where they're kind of, I don't want to use a mean word, but they're kind of bleeps, you know what I mean? They're just bleeps to other people. Those particular claimants, for some reason, never show up on their hearing day. Like, the more aggressive, the more mean, the more whatever, little Napoleons that they are, they never show up on their hearing day. They always have to, like, show up, get a good cause allowance and have another hearing like 3 or 4 months later. I don't know what's going on with that, but the bottom line is the real I'm a tough person claimants, or I'm a real badass, or I can do whatever I want, or the judge is going to listen to me. Those types, they never show up for their first hearing. I don't know what it is. I don't know why. I think they just get scared, and that's why they put that whole front up about how tough they are, but they never show up for their hearings. Now, with that said, everybody else falls into the next category, which is you're not going to be super comfortable while you are sitting in front of the adjudicator, the judge. What do I mean by that? What I mean is that you are not going to be yourself when you are sitting in front of this judge. You're going to be nervous. You're going to be sweaty. You're going to be choosing your words very carefully. They're going to be listening to you intently. You are basically going to be very worried. And that's part of it. That's normal. It shouldn't be anything that's out of the norm for you. Just keep in mind, like, that's how it works. So here's the structure of how you go from, oh my God, I'm walking into the room, to, oh my God, I'm walking out of the room. You start walking into the room, right? Your attorney has already told you at this point, you usually sit in the chair where there's no computer, right? Okay, cool. So you go through that portion, and I have a little doggy positioned at my feet, so I can't actually put my feet in the way I want with this chair. But bottom line is, you sit in the spot where there's no computer. You'll be facing forward towards the judge, unless you have a VTC, in which case you'll all just kind of be lined up in a row looking at the judge on a big screen. For the first 15 minutes, you will be extremely nervous. You will be all over the place, which is fine, because a lot of the intro questions are, idiot-proof questions. What's your name, date of birth, age, left-handed or right-handed, etc. Go ahead and raise your right hand. I swear to tell the truth. That stuff is all bulletproof for the most part. Why? Because for obvious reasons, it's easy. There is a direct and simple answer to it. Now, with that said, there's another part to this, which is that if you... Come on, buddy. What are you doing? Got the itch? Yes, you did. Good job. So what happens is, basically, after those 15 minutes, you will suddenly begin to transform into somebody who's more relaxed and calm, because you understand that the questions, while not all softballs, are pretty straightforward. It's usually right around this point that we learn, not together, you learn it, I already knew it was going to happen, but we learn that basically the judge is either a nice judge or a judge that's going to beat the hell out of you, right? Because about 15 minutes in, that's when the judge starts to collect enough information to use it against you. Some of the nice judges will just ask fluffy, light questions. Like, there's this one judge in Orlando where I swear, like, talking and being around her and interacting with her is like eating the best, dinner, or I'm trying to think of like a southern Georgia-esque, like a blueberry, no, it's like a Maine thing, like a peach cobbler pie-esque kind of thing. It's like, you're just having dessert and you're relaxed and everything's cool, and she's just asking questions. And what the claimant doesn't realize is that she just asked 3 questions. 2 of them just demanded that she get you found not disabled. That's one type of judge. Then you have the other judges in the middle, where they'll throw some snarky questions out at you. You'll answer them the best of your abilities, and then they'll consider the outcome of them, and yada yada. And then there's a couple of judges where they will beat the hell out of you verbally for 30 to 45 minutes. It's part of the gig. That's part of the gig, right? That's just part of the gig. So, what will happen is you either get comfortable, you'll get some tougher questions, you'll move forward, you'll go to the vocational expert portion, or you'll get beat on. And here's the thing. It is very important to not show any aggressiveness towards the judge. An example of this would be, for example, and I want to be very direct with you on this, if the judge asks you, because you were, seeing medical facility somewhere in, or whatever. They asked you where you were in, okay, well, why are you up there, in Middleburg, Florida, which is the middle of nowhere, or, Jacksonville, Florida, which is directly located next to the middle of nowhere, but is some place that's very somewhere. So with that in mind, the bottom line here is if you respond that it's none of your business, which is what one of the claimants did, you are going to get denied, right? So it's none of your business as a line, as a thing, is a slap to the face, or if lightly done, a slap to the back of the hand to a judge, whose entire purpose is there to find out what your business is, right? Because that's why they're there, to figure out what your deal is. So if you would be so kind as to not tell the judge something snarky like it's none of your business, or I don't have to tell you, or I don't feel comfortable telling you this, or blah, blah, blah. Remember, you're not very likely going to jail, so be honest. Be very honest, be very straightforward. Okay? All right, so let's go back to the question. What kind of successful testimony should you use to win disability benefits? The truth is the successful testimony, but how you shape the truth and the words you use to explain the truth are very important. Using words and explaining phrases of how you were an incredible worker that show that you potentially could be an incredible worker nowadays, not good. Using words and phrases that show that you were an incredible worker back in the day and that you loved work, but that you could no longer do it for all of these reasons, very good. When you talk about television, because a lot of people are like, what do you do throughout the day? Well, I wake up and I watch television. Make sure you explain that you have difficulty remembering the shows, that you have to rewatch things over and over, that you can't always stay on top of what you were doing, that you miss your schedule for watching particular shows, whatever. Make sure you explain in detail why you have a difficult time doing it, because what the judge is looking for here is why you have a tough time doing functional tasks, which always come in two categories. A, your home tasks, and B, your work tasks. Your work tasks are, I've got to do work stuff. Here's the shovel, here's the mop, here's the paperwork, go ahead. Home tasks, I got to go to appointments, I got to get shopping for food, I got to do this or that, I got to survive as a human being. So that's what they're looking for here. Everything premised about why you can't do them, and if you do them, why you can't do them well. Okay? I'm trying to move my feet around undagi. So that's what that means. All right. Now, my big focal point here to share with you is that the best thing you can do is hear all the questions ahead of time. That's why with every single one of my claimants, we run through every single question they're likely to hear in there ahead of time, because knowing the questions and answers to an exam before you take it, super duper important, right? Because you're just going to do better on it. Now, with that said, and this is important, when it comes to the magical language of successful testimony, you have to have backing it the evidence. And this is where your attorney comes in, because they'll have read all your evidence at this point. The attorney has to be able to back your evidence with questions which are not leading, but lead overall directly to where you want that horse to drink that water. Okay? So what I mean by that is, okay, so let's say that you're on a topic and the topic involves a discussion about your impairments. The attorney already knows and should clear with you, not clear because you're going to be all over the place while it's going on, but the attorney knows, here's what we're doing. We're hitting, so let's say it's lack of medical treatment, lack of medical care, etc. We're going to be hitting are they homeless or in a program right now? Then we're going to be leading to medications. They're not on any because they don't have any Medicare or Medicaid. Then we're going to be leading to the last facilities they went to. And then we're going to be revolving back to no health insurance. And then we're going to be revolving back to no money. And then we're going to be revolving back to how they haven't been utilizing drugs. And then we're going to revolve back to how they're no longer using cigarettes. And then we're going to revolve back to how no family members will help them. And then we're going to revolve all the way back to their initial disabling conditions to talk about why they can't do stuff, like clean up around their campsite or whatever. Okay, so the attorney knows where this whole book of business is going, what categories they're going to hit, what things they want to go into, and sometimes you'll say something and it will just feel so natural. It will be so humanly approachable. It just sounds like the truth personified, as if George Washington sitting and having a beer with, his poker players, Christ, I mean, you could just do anybody. You could do the Jefferson. You could do whatever. I'm trying to think of, so that was a little, and I have to be careful with YouTube because you know how YouTube is with this whole, blocking videos and stuff. I almost said like some soldiers that were famous from wars that were from the British side, and that would not be, then maybe that would be kosher. I don't know if that would be kosher. I just have to be careful with YouTube because YouTube is playing the whole game when it comes to like, which videos are being shown, which videos are not being shown. So we'll skip who George Washington could be sitting down with and, who this country fought a war with, and we'll hide evidence historically and destroy some statues that are obviously the history of where we come from as human beings, because that makes sense. Testimony. Successful. You might have the best testimony in the world, but if you don't have the evidence to back it, guess what? Unless you're a homeless person that comes from the middle of nowhere who can't get medical evidence and they're going to send you to a CE after the hearing, it ain't going to work for you. But if you are that type where you're homeless and yada, 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 it might work for you. Okay. My name is Attorney Walter Rudolph Hnot III. I'm with Disability Resolution PA, an Orlando, Orange County-based Social Security disability law firm. If you want a free consultation on the most up-to-date videos or most up-to-date information or a custom video made about a particular topic you like, that's fine. Shoot me an email and we'll go from there. There's a bunch of people who have requested videos. I had a list and it's now on my laptop, which I didn't put into the web server, which was in the cloud. So I don't know where it is right now. It's on that hard drive and I can't access that hard drive because the computer crapped out, but I should be able to get it once I use this box over here, and hopefully it'll be able to read that and get me that list back. But in the meantime, I've got about 50 video topics I'm going to be doing either way to kind of help you guys the best that I can. I know I should organize it a lot better with my speech pattern of, the top 10, the top 5, like some of these other guys do, but frankly, I've made so many of these videos, if I had more time to do it all, I would, but once again, this is how I'm spending my Friday nights, my Saturday nights, and right now, my Sunday night. So, anyways, my name is Attorney Walter Rudolph Hnot III, Orlando, Florida. I'll catch you a little bit later. Have an absolutely wonderful day. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.